can get started. Looks like we're live and ready to go. So, thank you all for joining us for another virtual edition of 1 Million Cups Iowa City this week. We're pleased to have Andrew Jewell from Vernon Research Group joining us. He's going to tell us a bit about what he's doing and if we will have time to answer questions and have um, little bit of quarantine discussion today too. So, um, just a few things to start off. I do want to thank our sponsors: the University of Iowa's John Papajohn Entrepreneurial Center, America's SBDC, um, Merge and ICAD, and of course Public Space One. Um, and at this point, we'll go ahead and hand it over to Andrew. Thank you for joining us, and take it away.
Yeah, hi. I'm Andrew. My name is Andrew Jewell. I'm the director of qualitative research at Vernon Research Group. I am a partner there with um, Lori Dockery, Dr. Lori Dockery. She's the director of quantitative research. And then we have our president, Linda Custer, who's been in the industry for 30 plus years. The three of us bought the firm about 3 years ago from our parent company and are running it ourselves. And it's been a great experience and a great adventure. And it's been productive and, you know, fantastic in every regard. And I've loved this stage of my life. Um, Oh, let's see. Yep, there we go. Who we are. So we're an experienced full service market research provider. Uh, when people ask me like what is Vernon Research, I like to say we're a boutique market research firm. Like we really do everything custom. There's nothing truly off the shelf about us. Every client we approach uniquely, and I can honestly say like I've never done the same project twice, which has been fantastic for me because I get bored easily, and every client, every customer is a new experience for us, and it's just not something you're going to get with a much larger market research firm. We've been around since 1987, almost as long as I've been around, quite frankly. But I've been with them for 6 years now. Um, we use advanced research methodologies. We're small, but we know what we're doing. Um, both of the directors have advanced research degrees, and like I said, our president has been in market research for 3 decades or longer. We have our own focus group facility in Cedar Rapids. We are, as far as I know, the only focus group facility in the eastern half of the state of Iowa. There's one in Des Moines, and then there's one in the Quad Cities. And if you want anything in between, it's Cedar Rapids. Um, we have a statewide consumer panel, the Iowa Opinion Panel, that has anywhere between 4 and 5,000 active panelists, depending on what survey you're wanting to field. If you're only looking for like 2 or 300 answers, the turnaround time to get that is less than an hour. Once we field it to the time, like we have 100 or 200 responses, it takes like an hour to get those responses. Um, Professional moderating services. I myself have traveled all over the United States for Vernon Research Group to conduct focus groups and in-depth interviews in person. Also, we do secondary research. Let's say you've got a bunch of data and you don't know how to analyze it, you can give it to us and we'll do it for you. Also, we'll go out and perform any secondary research that you need to improve or understand the results that you have. And then we do just general consulting as well. Um, and basically, if you have a question, you can come to us and we'll try to give you an answer. Our target audience, excuse me, um, everyone. You name an industry, we work in it. We will do as small and as big as you need. Uh, we do startups. We also work with several Fortune 400 companies. uh, Branding. Now I'm just going to go through all the types of studies we do, which is basically every conceivable type of study. I have personally done all of these in my time at Vernon Research: branding research, business forecasting, competitive analysis. We will look at your competitor and see what they are doing and where you can improve. Concept testing, you got an idea, you want to see if it's feasible, well, we can do that. Consumer customer profiling, we can tell you who's buying your product and who's not buying your product and why. We do a lot of customer satisfaction studies. Employee attitude and satisfaction. So right now, with things on lockdown, we're doing a lot of our employee satisfaction studies that we normally do throughout the year. We're doing them now, just because employees are home and they have time to do them. So the response rate is better. Uh, Image and advertising research. We do a lot of this A/B testing, seeing what people think about a campaign or an advertisement. Segmentation. Almost every study we do has market segmentation. Well, how do men feel about it? How do women feel about it? We can let you know. What about people over 60? What about people under 60? Yep. What about people who have health insurance versus people who don't have health insurance? We can do that. New product development. We've got a couple of these studies going on right now where we're testing a new product idea. That includes sending in-home trials and in-home testing. Product testing, like I said, in-home testing. We also can test at our focus group facility. Pricing strategy, you want to know how much you can charge? We can help you get at that. Oh, what's too much? We can tell you. Um, Again, these are the industries that we work in. I have done studies in all of these industries within the last 5 years. That last bullet point, you name it. Honestly, if you come to us with a research question, we can probably help you regardless of where you work. We have an instantaneous product. This is something that we can do through our Iowa Opinion Panel. It's not off the shelf. It is still custom, but it is very, very fast. One of the more challenging aspects of market research is how long an actual study can take. If you've ever done a real market research study, sometimes the fastest timeline you'll see is like 6 weeks. This is a much faster turnaround time. If you want some answers to some quick questions, you just want to know, like, look, A, B, and C, we can do that. We can get you 500 respondents and up to 4 questions cut by 3 demographics, and then you can have those results in 5 business days or less for about $3,000. That price is not set in stone. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes a little more. You can add a question, you can remove a question, so we can move up and down. But like for about $3,000, if you want like actionable research quickly, we can give that to you. What are we doing right now? These are weird times. So what are we doing right now? We have a lot of focus groups and a lot of interviews that we had planned. I was supposed to go to Minnesota, Wisconsin, Chicago, right around March 20th. Well, that didn't happen. So we've transitioned a lot of that to online interviews. And quite frankly, due to Zoom and other online platforms and the ability to record those interviews, we're getting just as good, if not better, data in some of these research projects that we would have if we'd done them in person. We're trying to be sensitive. It's a weird time with certain businesses closed down to be saying, well, now you need to be spending money on market research. Like, are you having trouble making payroll? Well, yeah, give us money to do market research. So we're not doing that. But for the clients that have the funds and have the availability to do research projects right now, those are the ones we're talking to. And for some of them, now is a good time, because for some of them, let's say that they are targeting teachers. Well, teachers are very, very busy people. And right now, teachers have a little more time than they usually do. So if your target audience is teachers, right now is a good time to be reaching out to your target audience. So that's the clientele that we're looking at now. We are doing some online focus groups. Online focus groups are a little bit smaller in general. An in-person focus group is usually anywhere from 8 to 12 people. Online focus groups, 6 is a better working method, just because it's harder for a moderator to keep track of more than 6 people in even like a Zoom meeting like this. We're doing some in-home product testing. We're sending out kits more than we normally would. Usually for some of these products, we would be bringing people into our focus group facility, but now that we can't, meet them in person, we're sending kits for in-home product testing. Um, we're collecting employee satisfaction studies. Again, like if normally we would do it in June, well, now your employees are home, they've got time now, the response rate is going to be better now. Let's do it now, with the caveat that, think about everything that was happening up until St. Patty's Day. Don't like think about your working life before this all started, like, and then tell us about that. And quite frankly, we're spending a little more time on marketing and improving our CRM, which is the stuff I never seem to get to, when the world is working like it normally should. Uh, Zeroing out that inbox, making sure that everything uh, is clean. I've got a chat. All right, I'm going to get to that question a little bit later, Lucinda. Uh, so, uh, the future, we're focusing on getting back to normal, whatever that normal looks like. Um, I'm not sure what if normal is ever going to be normal again, but that's what we're just focused on, getting through this and getting back to what things were or what things will be. And as far as that goes, market research can help people know what the new normal is going to be when it gets there. Like it's possible that in your industry, your customers are never going to be the same way again. And if you need to know how they change, doing some market research is the way to know that. We're going to focus on building and maintaining the panel. Our panel is online, and people are on on the internet more now than ever. They're online, they're at home more now than ever. So building and maintaining the panel right now is something we're focusing on, making it bigger and better. We're going to leverage our Insightanious and our panel as much as possible to get new business and new clients. And we're looking at collaborating and partnering with other small and mid-sized market research firms throughout the nation to see if what we can do uh, um, without having to go to nationwide panels like Research Now and Dynata. So yeah, I am the director of qualitative research, and so I ask people questions. That's what I do all day. And I guess now you get to ask me questions, which is new for me because people don't usually ask me anything. The first question that I have is, how does someone become one of your panelists and participate in market research? Are they paid? Our proprietary panel is called the Iowa Opinion Panel. It is as far as I know, the only statewide panel for Iowans. Um, you can join it by going to iowaopinionpanel.com. It is free to join. You just answer some very basic demographic questions. We get you into the panel. Then we'll send you a fuller survey to give us more demographics. Every single survey that you answer, even if it's a screener to be part of a focus group, gets you IOP, Iowa Opinion Panel points. After 1,000 points, you get a $20 gift card to Amazon or Marcus Theaters or Walmart or Target. We have a bunch of options. But basically, after 1,000 points, you get $20. Um, Also, if you get chosen for a focus group or qualitative research, those all can pay anywhere from 25 to a couple $100 every time. And yeah, we send out probably 3 to 5 surveys a month just to our panel. It takes about maybe 4 to 5 months, even if you don't get selected for any studies, maybe 3 to 5 months to get a $20 gift card. It's nice, and it's email, and you're looking at your email all day, any day. So all day, every day anyway. So it's, join it if you got time. Any other questions?
What is the most interesting research study that you or you think that Vernon Research Group has participated in?
So it's crazy. Like everything that comes through is new and interesting, and I have to become a subject matter expert. um, Right now, I'm doing a study for a tax preparation software company, and I don't know a lot about professional tax preparation, but wow, do I know a lot more now than I did 2 months ago. Um, I don't talk about clients by name because we are very secure about information and who our clients are. But the Iowa Department of Public Health, which it's a matter of public record, so I can talk about that, is one of the more interesting studies I've ever done. We did a um, drinking study, underage drinking study for them, where we talked to 18 to 25-year olds about their experiences with underage drinking. And a lot of that obviously was retrospective, like they had to recount when they were underage and drinking. But I went to 40 small communities throughout the state of Iowa and did focus groups with 18 to 25-year olds, and just talked to them about their experiences with drinking and underage drinking. And the data that I got was incredibly interesting. And the people that I met were incredibly interesting. And the small towns I went to were incredibly interesting. And, it was like 2 months of my life that I wouldn't trade for anything. Any other questions?
Yeah, have you noticed any trends in healthcare and what's changing in healthcare?
Um, you mean like very recently within the last 3 to 6 months? We haven't done any healthcare studies, to be
Okay.
honest, within the last 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, I can't answer that. I haven't noticed any like major changes and trends.
Okay.
So this is a really interesting kind of area of of work here. How does one enter this type of work, and I guess what have you learned kind of along the way?
Uh, as with most people who have jobs they love, I ended up in this position almost by accident.
Mhm.
I left my PhD program because I didn't want to have a doctorate in what I was studying and needed a job. So this job had research in the title, and pretty much every job that I've had since turning 18 had research in the title. So
Mhm.
I was like, I'll interview for that. And they liked me and I liked them. And it ended up being a perfect fit. I'm the director of qualitative research, which means that I do almost all of the focus grouping, all of the in-depth interviewing. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy meeting people and digging into their answers to get deeper responses is something that I have found that I'm naturally good at. Usually 99 times out of 100 after a focus group or an interview with Vernon Research, the respondent or participant will say, wow, I really enjoyed that. Which, if you can participate in research and then also at the end of it say, wow, that was really fun, then that's something that I love to hear. That's how you end up getting into it, is by accident. Though I will say Tippy College of Business does have a market research, not program, but focus for one of their business degrees. So that, if you're a student currently watching this, look into it, because I have enjoyed moderating and being a focus group moderator more than I ever thought possible. And then what was the second half of your question?
And then any lessons you've learned along the way, kind of along your journey.
um yeah, there are 1,000 ways to ask a simple question, and 950 of them will get you a biased response. So learning how to ask a question and how to engage with a participant or a respondent to make sure that you get an unbiased response and that you're not leading them to give you something you want to hear or don't want to hear is an art. And it is why I strongly encourage, whenever possible, that businesses hire a professional market research firm. Because if you do your own research, you are going to find what you want to find, or you are going to uncover your greatest fear because you're afraid of it. Hire someone like us to do the research for you and give you an unvarnished, unbiased third-party opinion.
Okay.
Can I go more into how I do pricing for the services?
Sure.
Honestly,
can I
yeah,
ask a question?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious about, you're talking about qualitative, the qualitative part. Have you ever found like a gap in, for example, if I understood well, you're asking questions and, between the way people answer and the way the people act at the end. Not sure if it's clear.
So, are people telling me what I want to hear as opposed to what they actually feel?
As opposed to how they actually, for example, if you're talking about a product or how they use the product or how they act in real life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot of methods about getting responses like that are accurate that we could go into during an actual survey or study construction phase. Yes, to be honest, like yes. When you're running a focus group, sometimes what somebody says and what they will actually do are not at all the same. It's one of the reasons I hate the what is the title? It's the how likely would you be to recommend this on a 1 to 10 scale? And then there's like the detractors and the neutrals and the nines and the tens. That's like your advocates. Oh, I can't think of the stupid name of it. I hate that because people say how likely they would be to recommend it, and it's completely not true as to like in a real life if they would recommend something, because most people just would never actually recommend something, to be honest. Like if somebody said, oh, would you recommend anything? They'd be like, no, I'm not going to do that. There is an art and it takes skill and it takes time to develop as a moderator to get responses like that out of people. Actual accurate responses. And if you get, if you get a feeling that somebody's BSing you or malingering or not being honest, you as a moderator can go after that person and really press them. And what they will do is they will back down, and that makes it obvious that they're not being honest, or they will double down, and that also makes it obvious that they're not being honest. But in general, people in a focus group will give you real accurate responses to questions if you are good about how you phrase it and the scaffolding that you do to build the rapport prior to asking those questions. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I just talked around it, but yeah,
Okay.
basically experience. If you want real things, experience. That's how you get to it.
Thank you.
Yep.
This is Paul Heath. I was wondering, are there some topics that you cover on an ongoing basis, just rather than on a special basis or one-time basis? Are there some that transverse years instead of, just a month or two?
What do you mean by topics?
Well, ongoing research that you do on a particular topic for maybe a long-term contract with a client.
So yeah, we have several clients that we do studies where we check in every year with their employees, where we check in every year with their customers. Some of them are 18-month, some of them are 2 or 3 years, and we do trending data for all of those, where we'll go back to the last up to like 5-6 studies, and then we will do statistical analyses to see if there are significant differences year over year. But I mean, we do it on the customer side and on the employee side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If we wanted to hire Vernon Research Group, how would we get in touch with you?
VernonResearchGroup.com. It's our smiling faces are right there, and there's an email of our president right on every page. Our phone number's on every page. We're in Cedar Rapids. We're based out of Cedar Rapids, but we work in Iowa City and all over the state of Iowa. And I've done research projects for companies based in Iowa that have taken me coast to coast and elsewhere. So we're not just down the street, but we can go everywhere. I do have an outstanding question from somebody who asked me to talk about pricing. We don't have a standard pricing model. Again, we are boutique. Nothing is off the shelf. If you come to us, you explain what you're looking for. We will engage you in a conversation and tell you what we think is the best approach. And we will give you options that say, like, if you want, the absolute everything bells and whistles, like this is what it'll be. If you want to scale it back, this is what it'll be. And then if you want the minimum, this is what it'll be. We will never give you an option that we don't think will cover your needs. We will not do or engage in a study that is not going to benefit you. And we will tell you up front. We will say this is the minimum you need to spend to get actionable results. If this is out of your price range, then right now is not the time to be doing research.
What percent of your time is spent with secondary research versus primary research?
My time personally, because I'm qualitative.
Well, company wide.
I would say probably 5%. It's a minimal part. Most of our research is primary. Most of the time, we are engaged in going out and collecting primary results.
Are there any other questions?
Do you feel like your skills with this research company has kind of translated into your communication skills with your trivia organization you do?
They benefit one another pretty strongly. I have gotten to be a much better focus group moderator due to running shows, and I've gotten to run shows much better from being a focus group moderator. They've been definitely mutually beneficial.
What came first?
Actually, so a little bit about me. I came to the University of Iowa when I was 19. I took a gap year and started in a pediatric oncology lab doing research. I just walked in and I was like, I need a job. And they were like, are you here for the work study? I'm like, no, I just need a job. And they were like, okay, fine. And so that was my first job in research. And that was at the age of 19. I'm now 38 and I've literally never had a job. I've literally, since the age of 19, not had a job, not been employed in research in some way, shape, or form. I've worked in research for the last 19 years of my life. At one point, I was doing Huntington disease research for the Paulson Lab at the University of Iowa. That's in psychiatry. Huntington is a rare heritable disease that it's neurodegenerative, and it affects you if you have a certain genetic repeat in your code. It's a unique population, and it is a semi-difficult thing to talk about if you are a family member. So I started doing focus groups at national conferences and conventions for that disease to talk to caregivers of people with Huntington's disease, to talk to people who have the disruption in their genetic code, but have not started to experience symptoms, the asymptomatic people, just to get a better understanding for what they were going through. And that is when I first started talking to people and doing focus groups and interviews, and found out that I really love it. I really love talking to people in this way, and that you can get a level of detail and a level of response in a focus group and in an in-depth interview that you cannot get it through survey research. You cannot get it through ethnographic research. You just have to talk to people in this method to get the level that you're looking for. And if you are honest, if you are transparent, if the person that you're talking to believes that you care, you can get things out of them that you would never believe. Last year, I did a employee satisfaction study for a large insurance company, where I went around the United States and talked to all of their satellite offices about how they felt as employees of this company. And as part of my results, we gave verbatims, and some of the verbatims were, yeah, like, I don't like it here. If I could find another job tomorrow, I'd be out the door. And I put that on screen to the CEO, the CFO, and a few other people that were in that results presentation. And they stopped me and they said, "Are you serious? You went to one of our satellite offices and somebody who is employed by us told you that they would be out the door the very next day? They told you that?" And I said, "Yeah." Wow. If I worked for a company, I would never, if I was in a conference room at that company, say that out loud. And I was like, well, that's the level of response that you get if you know how to run a focus group.
How do you build trust with the person that you're interviewing? What are your tactics for that to get them to be honest with you in that way?
Well, I don't wear a suit and tie. I'll tell you that first off. I'm not, I don't come in with a Hooters t-shirt either, but I dress like I would dress. I'm comfortable. Like, I'm not going to put on an artifice. Uh, Nothing about me is going to be fake, and people sense that. People get a sense if you are BSing them. Um, and you don't The first question is not, what do you hate about working here? The first question is, tell me about yourself. The first question is like, oh, what do you do for a living? You talk to them for like a good 10 to 15 minutes. You build that trust, you build that rapport, and then after you've done that, after they've talked about the minutia of their life, then they'll get into it and they will tell you the truth. And it also helps to know that I don't work for Pepsi. I don't work for GM. Like, if you're an employee of Pepsi, like, you can say whatever you want to me. I'm not going to fire you. I'm not going to do anything. Like, tell me what you hate about your job. Tell me what you love about your job. Because it's going to get filtered through me and it's not going to be tied to you. And then the person that you want to say, shove it up your butt to, like, you can say that because I can go and say this, like, somebody wants you to shove it up your butt and they're not going to know who said it. Like, it's filtering it through an unbiased third party is beautiful because people will say what they really think and what they really believe.
So you're providing a level of safety where they can feel free to absolutely say what they really think.
Mm-hmm. And there's a watershed moment too, where, like, I've had focus groups where, there's 12 people in the room and I can tell there's hesitance. And then finally somebody, like, says what they really think about a topic. And after that one person says what they really think about that topic, it's just the dam is broken, the gates are open, and people just start sharing how they really feel. And it's beautiful and it builds upon itself. And if you know how to direct that conversation and build upon it, you can get results that you, as a president of a company, you could never get it from your actual employees, because they're never going to tell you 100% what they really think if you're a large company. I have this.
Andrew,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, just one thing. You were talking before that, when you put on the table the information of the employee, that was to senior level management.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what was I mean, what did they do after? I mean, with this information, did they wanted more details? How did they use that information to, to?
So part of our services, we give recommendations unless we're asked not to. Like, for instance, let's say we do some A/B testing for an advertising agency, and there's an end client. The advertising agency has an end client that they're developing advertising for. We will do the research, and sometimes the ad agency says, just give us the results, but don't give us any recommendations. We want to make the recommendations. But 9 times out of 10, we give recommendations based on our findings. And we do follow up 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line. We'll send an email. We'll reach out and say, hey, what became of this? How did you use the results? Like, let us know. And that also opens the door to say, like, is there a follow-up study you would like to do? Most of the time, the studies we do should be repeated. You know, if you do an employee satisfaction study and it's the first one you've ever done and you've been in business for 20 years, don't just do it 1 year, do it every year. Track those results, see how your employee engagement changes over time. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. There's a question in chat. Let me get to it. Are we connected with other market research companies? We reach out and connect with other market research companies based on need. Like I said, we had the Iowa opinion panel. Let's say there's a agricultural company that wants to talk to farmers in Iowa, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. We will reach out to other firms like ourselves in Wisconsin and Nebraska and leverage their panels to get more farmers in those areas if we need to, or we'll reach out to a national panel if we need to. That is pretty regular. And then that builds relationships that if that panel needs to reach out to us because they need Iowans, we have that a relationship established and we can use it on a regular basis. It's not super common, but it comes up like half a dozen times a year.
Have you done any research on how Iowa is responding to this COVID crisis?
We are in the we are doing it right now, yes, but we have no results that I feel comfortable talking about.
So that kind of begs the question is, do you ever publish those results from your own research, not necessarily through a company? So like, do you
Yes.
have results of stuff? Okay, cool.
So we've got a couple, what are they called? Ebooks. Yeah, we have a couple ebooks on the website. We also have, so with our panel, we target people because we have demographics. You know, let's say we want to talk for whatever reason in February, we have a study that's only concerned with women, and we have another study that's only concerned with people 45 and older. Well, that means that that month, no males under the age of 45 got a survey from us. So at the end of that month, we would make sure that anybody on our panel who didn't hear from us that month got a what we call an engagement survey. It's just a 3-question survey that just, you know, they hear from us, they take it, they get 10 points or 25 points. And then we engage them. And those engagement surveys, we will then work up the data and put those on Facebook and other social media outlets and say, this is what our panel thinks about this. Well, this is what, for the sake of this example, this is what males under the age of 45 on our panel think about this. And we do publish that on our Facebook page monthly. And we have, I would say, half a dozen posts on a given month.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
We
Yep.
can.
Okay, none of this is coming through.
Steve, I think you're cutting out. You want to try it again? Whatever you did at the very beginning. Otherwise, go ahead and just plug it into chat. I think there might be a technical issue on his end. Does anyone else have any
Well,
questions? Go ahead.
I do have one. There's one question in chat that I haven't got to. Ken, will you aggregate your results with other research companies or use their research as part of your analysis? Yes, we have done both of those things. We prefer to do everything through one stream if possible, because then you have one analyst doing everything. And then obviously every research project gets looked at by a second or a third or a fourth set of eyes. Depending on the issue. But yes, we can aggregate our results with other research companies. Is there a regional bias in your Is there a regional bias in any of the research? No, not in general. If there's bias, people don't know about it. But no, I would say that there's not a regional bias in what we do. Um, we use standardized practices, SOPs. Like I said, everybody that works at the firm who does analysis is an advanced degree analyst. We've been put through our paces, and we do research without any biases. Sound methodology. And that looks like it's the end of the questions that I've been given.
I was going to say, if no one else has any questions, I can go ahead and ask our traditional final question. So at 1MC, we always ask, what can we as the community do to help you?
Just reach out. We're here. We're a resource. We're, for lack of a better term, always open. And don't be afraid to just see what it'll cost. Like, don't not reach out because you're afraid it's going to cost too much to do market research. That I'm always amazed by people that have a $50,000 budget and they spend all $50,000 of it going to market without doing any market research. You got a $50,000 budget and you can spend $5,000 on market research, and that can improve your results by 150%. Then you spend the $5,000 on market research. You don't waste all that money on things that you shouldn't. You don't waste money targeting people who will never buy your product. You don't waste money on an advertising campaign that people don't find relatable. Do the work up front. It's insurance. Um, and it doesn't cost as much as you think it'll cost in a lot of cases. It really doesn't. I mean, we made that instantaneous product for smaller companies so that they can do market research affordably and get responses and get results. Last year, I had somebody reach out to me that had a community program that they wanted to do. They wanted to create an after school program, and they wanted to know, is there a need for this? Will people actually do it? And so they did an instantaneous. It was, I think, 2,200 or 2,300 bucks. They spent that 2,200, 2,300 bucks, and they found out that no, the community is not going to pay for this. The community doesn't want this. There's not enough parents that are going to pay you to do this after school with their kids. So rather than spending $20,000, $30,000 to create this program and quitting your job and starting a new business, you spent $2,300 to understand, like, oh, nope, this is not something I should be doing with my life at this point. And so, that saved that person's livelihood just by doing a little bit of market research. So yeah, just don't be afraid. Just, at worst, you reach out to us, we talk about it, and we say, hey, this is what we suggest you do. This is the minimum it'll cost. And you can say, oh, wow, I don't have that in my budget right now. And it doesn't cost you anything to know that you don't have that in your budget right now. Just to have that conversation with us, we'll write up a proposal. Like, that doesn't cost you any money.